participate. Again, the Equinox study is for males, ages 18 and older, who are diagnosed with BPH and have been bothered by nocturia for at least 1 year. To find out more and to see if you qualify, please call 1-352-234-8436. That's 1-352-234-8436.
From beautiful townhomes to equestrian estates, Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club provides the perfect haven of elegance for any homeowner. Not to mention our championship golf course, award-winning tennis program, state-of-the-art spa, and new luxury equestrian suite. We offer an array of membership options to suit a variety of lifestyles. Call 352-369-6969 today for more information about our latest real estate offerings.
Do you like Vietnamese food? Well, come to Kim Long's, Ocala's one and only Vietnamese restaurant. The goal of Kim Long's is to capture the authenticity of the Vietnamese homeland and get a taste of other influences within the Vietnamese cuisine. They're open Monday through Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sundays, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can make reservations by calling 352-236-5791. That's Kim Long, Ocala's only Vietnamese restaurant.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Hillary Clinton and President Obama campaigning together this afternoon for the first time. Clinton praising her old boss.
And he also knows that despite all the progress we've made under his leadership, and yes, we have, we still have a lot of work to do.
That rally in Charlotte, North Carolina. FBI Director James Comey this morning recommending no criminal charges be filed against Clinton, but Comey labeled her use of a private email server while Secretary of State and her treatment of top secret info as careless.
The FBI director said then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sent and received classified information, and some of the emails were marked classified at the time, and that a person in her position should have known based on the sensitivity of the intelligence that it should not be outside secure channels.
Fox's Catherine Herridge. Stocks close lower across the board. The Dow drops 108. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Geico applauds your inner ride leader.
An enthusiastic engine rev goes out to the biker in you who leads the pack. Even if that pack is a party of one, you're still a leader to Geico. To prove it, Geico will insure your motorcycle with great rates and 24/7 customer service. And with Geico by your side, you're never cruising solo, which means you've just been nominated as a real ride leader. Congrats! The smell of fine leather and trailblazing is in your future.
Geico Motorcycle. See how much you could save.
To all you parents sending your kids off to college, do us a favor. Invest in some good bedding. The company store has things like mattress toppers that make any bed feel like a spa. And remember, this is about protecting your investment in your flesh and blood. College is expensive, and we need sleep to learn, and sleep is hard to come by here. But hey, it's your call.
TheCompanyStore.com has been perfecting a good night's sleep for over 100 years. Visit TheCompanyStore.com to see our full line of college bedding and more. Enter the code CAMPUS and get 15% off your order plus free shipping.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
New windows will beautify your home and bring you immediate energy savings. Renewal by Andersen of Central Florida leads the way in quality and installs the name brand homeowners trust. Visit renewalbyandersen.com for a free in-home consultation with the pros. Right now, buy 4 windows and get the 5th free. Plus no money down, 0% interest, and 0 payments for 12 months with approved credit. Visit renewalbyandersen.com. That's renewalbyandersen.com. Offer ends July 31st. License CGC 1523333.
WWWCA Be sure to tune in to Ocala's longest-running morning radio talk show.
AM Ocala Live from 7 a.m. till noon, weekdays.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
Welcome back to Buddy Martin Sports Page. And coming up just a moment, Joe Williams from out in Mile High Sports in Denver. Got a chance to have a little lunch with Joe. He'll join us here in a moment. We'll go talk about football season coming up and who would be the way too early favorites in the poll and some thoughts about football in general. College football game, the game we love so much. And a little bit of hoops, too, as well around here. Luke's gone. Good luck to Luke, by the way. He did a great job for us here.
He really did a good job.
But I don't know about you, Tom, James, but Tom and I, Schmitz and I, were both really kind of shocked about Kevin Durant and going over to the Warriors. What were your thoughts?
Of all teams. I mean, of all teams. To me, you couldn't beat him in Game 5. You couldn't beat him in Game 6, and you couldn't beat him in Game 7, so let's just join him, okay? Instead of scratching and clawing year in and year out like all the greats have done throughout the years. You know, you've had those setbacks. You have to learn how to be a champion with the team that you're with. You know, you have to learn. You have to keep fighting year after year, and finally you climb that mountain, and you get there because you earned it. And I could really see Golden State in its present form, pre-Durant leaving, being perhaps the favorite next year. Over Cleveland and over Golden State.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, right. It's a free country. The money's there. It's obviously going to be easier to win. The other pieces are already there in Golden State. He's free to do whatever the heck he wants. But personally, out of a respect thing of all the teams to go to, that's really weird. That's like Magic Johnson going to the Celtics in 1987.
It's like Michael Jordan going to the Pistons in 1989.
It is.
All right, having said that, I hear what you're saying. Here's a guy who wants to win a championship.
He's been there 9 years.
He's going to be with a collection of the best talent in basketball. What's different about that and LeBron going to Miami?
Only a little bit different. Not a whole lot different. But, you know, again, LeBron had a blank. The cupboards were completely bare in Cleveland when he left to go to Miami. Now, he decided to do that, to put together his sort of super team down in Miami. I had a little bit of an issue with that, but that's the era, guys, that we live in. That's the free agent era in the NBA that we live in. These guys talk amongst themselves and form super teams. That's what happens now.
And here's what I was talking to somebody today, and it just came. I thought about this. Could it be, though, that we, as you're a guy in your early 40s, me in my late 40s, Buddy in his late 30s, could it be that we are loyalty-based guys, that we grew up in an era where there was loyalty, there had to be, in this Facebook, YouTube, Instagram era, it's about what I can do to help me. There's very little loyalty because, by the way, there's very little loyalty with the ownership groups and everything too, as was evident with the owner in Cleveland saying how he hated LeBron, but now he loves him again.
It's obviously a money thing. I'm not really sure what social media has to do with that particular piece of it.
The generation of now, they're a 22nd generation, not a committed for the long haul. It's 20 seconds.
Once the dollars started to climb and free agency entered the picture, you knew this was inevitable.
I'm going to put it in perspective, okay? The guy in his late 30s. When the Cardinals traded Stan Musial's roommate, Red Shindigs, I hated him for doing that. You can't trade a guy off the Cardinals. Sure. What are you doing? It's nuts, right? I was obviously a little kid, didn't know any better. And I was angry at him for a long time. How can you switch loyalties? We have nothing but switching loyalties. And I realize I'm guilty that the day I went up to Tallahassee, was asked to interview for the Florida State University SID position.
Right.
When I was in my late 20s,
What was I doing? Going to the enemy camp, right, for a gator. And I went and listened, and it wasn't for me, but still, you have to stop and think, what is it about? Would I like to go into Gainesville? And by the way, almost did get that job before Norm Carlson did. Nonetheless, I mean, who's Georgia Southern's number one rivalry?
Right now, Appalachian State.
All right, if you had a chance to go to Appalachian State and co-coach the offensive line for...
I went to graduate school at Appalachian State. I was a grad assistant.
Well, that works for you. But who is the one that's not the school you're doing? You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I would have never, to this day, if I was offered the head coaching position for $500,000 to go to Furman in South Carolina.
Wait a minute, hold it.
The Furman Paladins?
Get my feet up here on this one, Tom.
Get
them up.
This may last a while.
Get them up.
I would turn the Furman Paladins. I would turn the Furman Paladins down without even thinking about it.
Let me just say this, Christine. You believe that?
Sorry.
Do you believe what he said?
Of course, 100%.
Man, you.
Yeah, remember I'm that vindictive type. I'm a little more vindictive.
Hold on,
than you.
watch the microphone. Your nose is getting real long there. It gets in the way.
But there's nothing about the Furman University that I would ever want to be a part of.
You don't have to be them. You just have to work for them.
You know,
Furman is beautiful. I played a tournament up there, and the course might have been
can
really
learn to
hard.
love it.
Not my
It's
favorite.
Greenville, right?
It's a hole.
It's up in North.
Yeah.
Well,
listen. It's a different era.
All right, sum it up.
It is what it
we got
is.
about
It
30
is what it
seconds.
is.
Sum it up.
It is what it is. It's a different era. I mean, it's about dollars. It's not so much about legacies. They may say that it is, but it's not, because when you look back on 20, 30 years from now, what championships, when Golden State wins with Kevin Durant, which they absolutely will, how is that going to look in perception of, this guy's individual legacy? Jordan worked his butt off year after year with the guys around him to fight and scratch and claw to get through the Pistons, to get into the finals, to finally beat the Lakers and then go on that run.
Yep.
And we have so many examples of that. Guys sticking it out, working hard, going through the tough times to get there. Yep. And so, are you going to look at a championship that's won by Golden State in 2017, which they'll win? I'm just going to put it out there right now. It's over. You might as well not even play the season.
Hey, look,
so
LeBron did it. He went, obviously.
Are you going to look at that the same way?
Yeah.
I just don't think you are.
It is,
but I don't think they care.
It is a surprise, though. Tom James, his take on Kevin Durant. Time to talk college football. Thanks, Tom. Hang around if you'd like. Joe Williams from Mile High Sports in Denver will weigh in on the way too early top 15, among other things, on college football right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA.
The Source.
Do you suffer with frequent migraines? If you've experienced several migraines each month for at least the past year, you may qualify for a clinical research study. To find out more information about this study, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. All study medications and study-related procedures are at no cost to you, and insurance is not required. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. Again, if you suffer frequent migraines, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's 352-629-5800. Rinstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala. Prestige. It's all there in our name.
RL here for Dairy Queen to tell you about some new and tasty foods. Two of the new items are the Royal Blizzards, packed with extra fruit or fudge, and the new bruschetta chicken, a hot-baked sandwich on focaccia artisan bread. I know I had one for lunch, and it was exceptional. Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Need to sell your house? Discover how to easily sell your house fast and for full price in today's market. Join us live this Friday 9:30 a.m. for Mr. Ocala Real Estate Today. Sell your house now. Full price, fast close. Guaranteed. Call 352-282-3080. 352-282-3080. And join us live right here, 9:30 a.m. Friday.
Time now to go to the hotline and all the way out to Denver, Colorado, and the co-host of, well, actually, he's the host now, of Mile High Sports, Denver's top sports talk radio host. Joins us every week as he does on this show, and glad to have our friend Joe Williams back. Joe, it's good to see you in Denver last week.
Yeah, it sure was. We had a good time. I found a nice little Mexican food joint, and we did okay for ourselves.
We certainly did. It was a lot of fun, and Denver looked great, by the way. I just hadn't seen it in a long time. Joe, this is getting to be our favorite time. This is the time after all these years of doing radio together. We always start. We used to take out Street and Smith. Now we have a little more information about these teams, and now we're getting serious about it because some of these things like SEC Media Days are taking place next week, and they're getting serious about college ball. And this is a good time for us. And you made a comment to me, and it's so true. One of the things you were able to do for so many years, and still can, is you had this incredible recall on facts in college football. If I said to you who was playing quarterback for the Texas Longhorns and such year, you always knew who it was. You could, or Oklahoma, whatever, you always knew who it was. You had an unbelievable ability to call things up. But you pointed out that since the arrival of Google, that's not such an important talent anymore for talking, right?
Yeah, that kind of recall doesn't make any difference now because they got better recall. Just type it in and they got the answer.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever asked you this question, but I'm going to ask you, and I know kind of the answer about when you used to cut lawns. And by the way, I was in your fair city of Gainesville, Texas. I got out, kissed the ground, came through, saw the Red River, thought about you, and you were known for a guy who had some information. At a young age. What was it that triggered your passion, being right there on the Red River between Texas and Oklahoma and being a fan of Oklahoma and or Texas? What was it about that made you such a passionate college football fan?
Well, now, I was not a fan of neither Oklahoma or North Texas State. Let's get that straight. Well, my family was. They're all big Okies, right? And when I started paid attention to college football. I was like 9 years old, and my dad had a radio. He's had screwing around in the yard or whatever, had the radio and had the Oklahoma Notre Dame game on. And on the radio, we didn't get a TV until I was 10 or 11 or something. And even then, as you know, buddy, there's one game a week on, one college football game a week, period. That was it. And you didn't get anything else. And I don't know. I have no idea, other than being raised in a football-mad state. The Plainview Bulldogs, our high school team, I was nuts about them. And, didn't have television. You didn't have all this other stuff to get in the way of finding something that you could do and you could dream about. And for me, it was just football. That's how it got started. And I'm sure a lot of other people in the South, including you, it happened the same way for you, too, because where I grew up, football was everything. It started with the high school team, and then it just kind of went on from there. And especially in Texas, high school football doesn't get any bigger anywhere than Texas, and that's just the way it was. So that's how I got started. I never could get my fill of it, and I'm still pretty much like that today.
Yes, you are. You made your living on that, of course, and being an expert on quarterbacks, as you always like to tell me. But, Joe, I will say...
Quarterbacks, women, and the human condition.
We'll just leave it at quarterbacks, okay? And then we'll say this, Joe, is that the reference to your growing up, it's called organic. You and I both are kind of organic products of our environment. We grew up right there, and what was around us, you're right.
the Friday night high school games. You know, those were big things for us as kids. And listening to the college football on the radio was big. You know, I can tell you who the announcer was when I grew up. You can probably tell me who the Texas Longhorn radio announcer was. And I can remember some of the things that that the guy broadcasting games said I thought were kind of funny. And I wondered why he used to say, call it the coffin corner and all these references and stuff. Just a kid. Otis Boggs was my guy. Do you remember who your guy was?
Yeah, the Humble Football Network was the one we could get. And, Kern Tips, and he was one of the main announcers, legendary down there in Texas, and Connie Alexander. Mm-hmm. Those were the two guys that I kind of grew up listening to.
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff on the radio. All right, Joe, here it is, 2016. We're starting to look at these teams and start assessing them. Probably the top 7 or 8 or 9 teams are going to be kind of jumbled together, but there's been a little bit of change in some of the prognostications in recent days. I don't know if you've seen this ESPN Mark Slayback poll, which came out, and I'll give you a couple. I'm going to give you the top 5, and let's get your comments. Number 1, okay. Alabama, and Alabama seems to be moving to the top of most people's polls right now. Number 2, Clemson. No real surprise there. Here's a surprise. Number 3, Michigan. All of a sudden, Michigan vaults up there. A little publicity for your head coach can do wonders. Number 4, Florida State. Well, Fisher's got a good team. And the team you love to hate, Oklahoma, is number 5 in those polls. What are your thoughts about those?
Well, I mean, taking backwards and forwards, Oklahoma, they opened up against Houston. Don't laugh. It's not going to be easy.
No.
They also play Ohio State, and they play TCU before they even get to the Red River Shootout down there in Dallas. So their schedule's working against them, but they do have their quarterback. You mentioned Clemson. They know who their quarterback is, and he's probably the best one, at least going into the season, that there is. And for that reason, I like Clemson, you know, atop all the polls right now. Did you mention Florida State?
I did. Number 4.
All right, Florida State. They don't know who their quarterback is. It might be Sean McGuire,
right?
And I'm not sure he's good enough to win it. Mm-hmm. They also have a redshirt freshman, and I can't pronounce his name, but
Frenchman. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it's I don't know what is it, D. Francois or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Francois.
But anyway, they've got a big game early. Florida State does against Ole Miss. I think they start out with Ole Miss on Labor Day. That's an elimination game right there. You mentioned Michigan. They don't know who their quarterback is. It might be that transfer kid from Houston, but they've got a new defensive coordinator. They also have to play at Michigan State, at Iowa, and at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So that pretty much eliminates them. Ohio State, I think they lose 16 starters. How in the hell did Urban Meyer keep his job with all those guys drafted in the NFL and they couldn't win the damn Big Ten? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, a bunch of them, didn't he? Now, let me correct myself.
You got to wonder about that.
No,
okay,
you
go
don't.
ahead.
Correct myself one thing. This poll is more about with the recruits they got. This is sort of projecting what's ahead with the top recruits. So I'm not saying this is the preseason poll, but it is kind of the preseason poll because except for Michigan, these are the teams I think are going to be in there, just like you.
The thing about it is, buddy, here's the thing. It's a big deal. I know that Auburn was an exception to the rule. The year they won it with Cam Newton, they didn't even start out, I don't think, in the top 25. Mm-hmm. But normally, if you have to start out in the top, 10 to 15, because other than that, you're waiting on the teams ahead of you to get beat. And if they don't get beat, you don't have a chance to move up, no matter how good you are. Now, we know usually that's not the case, that almost all teams fall by the wayside, but where you start's a big deal, because if you start at 7 and you keep winning, you're never going to fall under 7. But if the teams in front of you keep winning, you're never going to overtake them either.
Exactly.
So
right.
where you start is a real big deal.
Yeah.
Now, they claim, the committee claims that they pay attention to the schedules, and that if you're playing a bunch of cream puffs early, and you build up your record, that and the teams that are ahead of you are maybe scheduled tougher than yours, they will take that in consideration and move them past you. But I've got to see good, hard examples of that.
Well, yeah. I think both of us kind of want to know a little more about this committee thing. I'm a little bothered by their system. It seems to kind of change with the years. We'll see how they pick them this year, Joe. Real quick, I'll go through the rest of the top 10 in this preseason way too early poll. 6, LSU. That's a surprise, considering that Les Miles might get fired. 7, Baylor. Kind of high for Baylor. Right. Number 8, Stanford. 9, Notre Dame. And finally, Ohio State. And you got 1 minute to react to that.
Well, LSU, the pressure's on him, that's for sure. They've got 9 starters back on offense. I think they got 9 back on defense. They got Leonard Fournette back, right? Yep. They got to have more. They got to have better play from Brandon Harris, their quarterback. They have to have that. If they do, they could win it all. I don't like Alabama's quarterback situation. The more I hear about that, makes me believe they're not going to be the same. I know you didn't mention Tennessee probably for a reason.
Oh, they're number 10, or they're 11.
They lost.
11, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tennessee lost 4 games by 17 points last year combined. And they finished up with 7 straight wins. Everybody knows they've been recruiting. So we'll see if that makes a difference. Art Briles, Baylor doesn't have him, so I don't know what's going to happen down there. They've got great players coming back. They got 2 quarterbacks could start for anybody, including Alabama.
All right.
So there you are.
All right, Joe. Good stuff. As always, good stuff. Joe Williams from Mile High Sports in Denver. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Thank Tom Schmitz, Tom James, and Christine doing a great job on the board. And as always, glad to be back in the saddle again. Tom, I'm back.
I guess.
Tom Schmitz. Thank you, Tom. Good night, everybody. I'm Buddy Martin.